think we're rolling. I think we're good. Oh. Oh man, it's actually hilarious that I chose to sit this way today because I might be the most unflexible human being you've ever met. Anyways, what's up guys? I think I'm gonna have to sit like this for this video just because my flexibility is a little poor. But honestly, I just decided to come outside today and record this because it's just beautiful. I mean, blue sky, sun out, cool air. It's starting to feel good here. And so I just decided that I'm going to do this outside. I don't have to set up a light. I just get to enjoy outdoors and record a little video. And today I wanted to talk about how to make wedding films that are interesting. And I think that this is kind of tough because we're in a really difficult industry where realistically the average person is not going to watch a wedding video of a stranger unless it's completely different and just really captures their attention very quickly. And so today I want to talk about how to do that because that's how you're going to book new clients. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to be able to actually continue to be able to do this, right? And so also I think one thing that we miss out on sometimes as wedding filmmakers is maybe like 5-10 years ago, the standard was let's grow a business and let's go about this in a specific manner. And the hard thing is that we took a lot of the creativity out of it. So a lot of the wedding films you see, the original ones, it's a lot of just slow-mo. We're kind of just like showing a recap of moments that happen in the day, but in slow motion. There's not much storytelling happening. And so what I want to get in today is, are you documenting moments and almost, giving a video in the form of a moving slideshow? Or are you actually telling a story? Are you telling the story of a couple? And I think there's a big difference in that. I've seen a big difference in my videography between when I thought that I had to shoot a certain way and then I started actually falling in love with the stories I was telling. And so today I kind of want to talk about how to fall in love with the stories you're telling and how to be intentional about storytelling. And so the first thing I want to talk about is, how do we tell a story? How do we tell a love story film? How do we make it interesting to the viewers, but also mean more to the couple, right? And the best way that I've found to do this is really through reading letters. There's a couple routes that you can go with this, and so I kind of want to address a couple ways to do this. The first way that you can do this is just very traditional, is you can have the couple write a letter. This is something that I've found I have to tell every couple. Like, usually they don't come prepared to do this. And so I recommend it to every couple. I say, hey, I would recommend you write letters to each other. It'll be special in the long run anyways. Like, even if I wasn't videoing it, this would be something that would be so sentimental to them in the long run. And so I recommend that they write a letter and then they read it in front of my camera, usually in the pre-first look phase. So somewhere in the getting ready phase. And they always cry. It's always so sweet and sentimental. A lot of times people feel like they're either uncomfortable with that or they're like, everybody reads letters, whatever it may be. And so the other route that I've gone is I've actually interviewed. I found that like it actually is easier to usually interview them than to get them to write letters well. I mean, my recommendation for any filmmaker that wants to actually make interesting wedding videos is watch good documentaries. I think a great one recently is the David Beckham documentary. And I was watching that the other day and I was just blown away at how good of storytelling it was. And all it is you have somebody behind the camera, they come with questions and they ask the person like these questions and it helps direct the entire film. And so that's always a big deal because it helps you tell the story because videos are really boring without audio. And so what I want to do is I want to show a quick example from Lacey and UR's wedding, and it just kind of shows you guys how audio can completely transform a film. So let's hop into that.
To my groom. August 12th is finally here. The day we have longed for the last 8 months. The day we have awaited with giddy anticipation. The day we get to become one and step into covenant. This morning I've been filled with a deep peace from the Lord. There is so much confidence within me that I have found the one whom my soul loves. It has always been you. The way you have pursued my heart and cherished me is a direct reflection of the way Christ loves the church. You actually lay your life down and walk in the deepest humility. You are gracious and you forgive freely. You are my greatest treasure, my bestest friend, my favorite adventure, and today I get to call you my husband.
Let's go freaking married.
So yeah, you can see how much that changes a video, right? And my biggest tip for if, people are like, what are the tips for writing letters? How do we write letters well? Whatever it may be, my biggest tip is just be real, authentic, and write it as a letter that they're actually going to have for the rest of their lives. Don't make it such a big deal about the video that they forget they're actually writing a letter to the person they're marrying that day. And you'll find this is a common theme in kind of all of my video techniques, but that is, I want people to feel as authentic as they can, and I want people to not forget what the moment is about and neglect that and then turn it into, okay, I've got to perform for my videographer. I want it to be the exact way that they interact with each other already and to feel like them. And so that's tip number one. The second way to make your videos more interesting is focusing on the small moments during the day. And what I mean by that is I think videographers, photographers included, get so excited about a portrait session. And I love a good portrait session, I can't lie, but I think about some of the best moments that I've captured, and they're always in the in-between. I shot a wedding video recently, and this bride was waiting for her bridesmaids to come out. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna record her in this moment as she's waiting on these girls and just like see what we capture. And randomly, all of a sudden, she grabs her veil beautifully and she's like, oh, it feels so good out here, guys, and starts praying. And it's actually how I started this video. So let's hop in there and check this out.
It feels so good out here, y'all. Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for this weather, Lord. I thank you for Sam. He is the greatest gift you've ever given me, God. You are so faithful. Thank you, Lord.
So as you can see, that moment, that tiny moment, in-between moment that I probably in the past wouldn't have even thought to have my camera rolling for, actually captured like the very beginning of their love story. Like this shows, it just gave a raw moment into her mind of like, okay, what is she thinking? And the whole audience feels drawn in because they're like, oh my gosh, like it feels real, right? It feels authentic, but it's because she didn't even know she was being recorded. And so those are the moments I love. And so what's essential for that is good audio. And so I always have an external mic on my camera. I've found that really any mic will do. I mean, there's recommendations for higher ones, and maybe I'll do a video in the future on that. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. You could use scratch audio from your camera. I would rather have scratch audio from my camera and use the clips from that to help narrate the in-between moments in my film than not use any audio at all. I think we sometimes get so caught up in the fine details that we forget that storytelling isn't about perfection, and that actually what our couples want is they want to remember their day as it was, and not only remember the perfect moments, but actually remember the whole thing. And so I found that just documenting all the small moments, when they leave the ceremony and they're like talking to everybody and they're like, oh my gosh, we just got married. Like that's like the best moment of the day. And so I would just recommend documenting the small moments, the in-between. When the bride is walking from one place to another, that's usually my best dress shot. I'm dead serious. Like there's so many moments in between that it's easy to neglect. But if we're really focused on the natural stuff, then all of a sudden our film feels authentic. Our viewer is actually like feels connection, because it feels real, it feels legitimate, it doesn't feel fake and posed. And I think a lot of people are going this direction now, but for the longest time it's been just fake pose stuff. So we want more real stuff, and that's tip number 2. And then finally, tip number 3 goes perfectly along with exactly what I just said, and that is create a space for your couples to feel authentic and themselves. And so what I mean by this is, if there's not going to be space on the wedding day for us to actually have a moment to almost forget that cameras are there, I'll actually schedule a love story film, and usually I'll do it for free, to be honest. I've found that making films that I want to make is more important than making the money for every hour I spend. Does that make sense? I'm almost like projecting myself to show people this is what I can do in the future, so that way they'll book, right? And so what I've started to do is, if for some reason in the timeline we don't have that on our schedule, we have 10 minutes and I know the photographer is going to be there too, and it's just going to be crazy and we're just going to be running and spinning for no reason. Instead, what I do is I try to create intentional moments, maybe the day before or the week before, maybe earlier on in the day, whatever it may be. And I try to create the moment that actually enables the couple to forget I'm there. And so I did this recently in a video, and you're about to watch it. But basically what I did is I just said, here's some pizza, here's some wine. And then I asked one question. All I asked was, I said, how do you guys feel about tomorrow? And as soon as I asked that, all of a sudden they forgot I was there. And it gave me the best raw moment, one of the best moments I've ever gotten on film, that just felt like it was them. So here's that video.
What are you excited about tomorrow?
Well, I'm excited to see you walk down the aisle, or see you in your dress for the first time.
Are you excited that we're not doing a first walk?
A first look? No, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm glad we're not, because I wanted to see you for the first time.
How'd you feel in practice?
Yeah, I felt emotional. Yeah.
I know, I wanted to
I felt very
cry.
emotional,
I think
yeah.
my dad wanted to cry too.
Yeah, he
but-
sounded like he was gonna cry.
Yeah, they all did.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I am also ready to get on that party bus after
You're just ready to party.
to the night before the big day. Yeah,
That's cute.
it's too cute. Yeah.
Wait.
That was good.
Okay.
I'm excited to just explore more places with you. And
Oh yeah, that too. You were right.
Yeah, to explore more places with you, but also to just be able to just start new things with you, like so many different journeys.
We can start running, or we could do tennis, or we could dance, or we could do everything. It's up to
Everything
you.
and anything.
You got it too.
Yeah? Yeah.
We got it tomorrow.
So yeah, as you can see, like that could completely change the vibe of a film. And so what I want to recommend with that is that it is really important to make sure that when we're documenting a wedding day or a wedding weekend or whatever it may be, that we actually stay true to documenting the day rather than just documenting the highlights. And so I think that's how we make wedding videos that are interesting, is by having narration that actually tells their whole story, by documenting the moments, the in-between moments that actually feel authentic, and by getting good audio. I think those 3 things combined is actually what has taken my films to the next level. It's made them more interesting. They're more what you would say documentary style, which everybody's kind of on right now. And they just feel more authentic, right? Like, again, my goal is to tell stories that one day when people watch with their kids will say, oh, this is how mom and dad dated. This is how mom and dad loved each other. Like, I get it now. I get where we come from. I understand our heritage. And so that's kind of my goal. So that being said, my best tip for any filmmaker would be never prioritize a specific position or vibe or shot or mood over making your couples feel comfortable. So if they don't want to run, don't make them run. Like, let them talk. If they feel weird kissing 500 million times on the wedding day, let them stop kissing. Let them have a moment where they just sit, or maybe have a moment where he looks at her dress and he says, oh my gosh, like, I haven't even had time to look at you yet. Look at every single piece. We're so in all of their moments that sometimes they forget to even enjoy them. And as soon as they start enjoying their wedding day, that's when the beautiful stuff happens. And so that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a comment. Let me know what else you would like to hear from me. Like and subscribe. It does a lot for me. I'm honestly just making these videos to make myself better. So I hope you guys are enjoying them, and I hope you're finding them helpful in your filmmaking career. That being said, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. I'm not flexible enough for this kind of stuff. Sheesh.